Hi, I'm Kenny Anderson, Director of Multicultural Affairs for the City of Huntsville, and welcome to Impact. Each week we bring you information about exciting things that are happening right here in our community, and today will be no different. You know, one of the things I love to talk about the most is education and the opportunities that education presents as a bridge between the present and the future for anyone who is actively pursuing such a thing. Today we're going to be talking about education, and we're going to be talking about it in a way that you might not heard us talk about it before. We're going to be talking with Dr. Richard Reynolds. He's the director and principal at the Huntsville Achievement School, and we're welcoming him back to the Impact set. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Kenny. Glad to be here.
It's always good to have you, and of course, whenever somebody comes and they're bringing great news, we like to get right down to it, and you've got some great news to share because the last time you were here, and we were talking about the Huntsville Achievement School. Some things were in the works, but they hadn't quite taken off just yet. But I recently had a chance to visit your new facility. And first of all, congratulations on having some new space.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do the great work that you're doing. But this has to be pretty exciting for you at this time.
Yes, it is, because we were in our previous facilities for about 60 years. I wasn't, but the school was. Right. Some days I feel like it's 60 years. But for 60 years, we were associated with First Baptist Church. So to move out on our own, we're at the former West Lawn Middle School, where you are renting a section of that school. Brandon Cruz is going to do with that facility much like what he did with West Huntsville. And so therefore, there'll be a lot of entrepreneurs, but we are downstairs in one section, and we have about 10,000 square feet. And so that has a lot of opportunities, and plus the fact is, we have outside space. It's hard to find in a growing Huntsville outside space because we still use a lot of outdoor activities with our children with ADHD and things. That is a way to help get that extra energy out. Still using the outdoors, so we will have indoor space, outdoor space, and a lot of opportunities. Plus, it's strategically located close to I-565, so we can still be a metro school reaching counties around us, and anybody can conveniently get to us.
Absolutely, right there on the corner of Jordan Lane, just off of Bob Wallace Avenue. And the reality is this: you have a very specific population that you tend to serve, that you focus on serving, right, as it relates to Huntsville Achievement School. Talk about the population that you serve.
When First Baptist Church helped start Huntsville Achievement School, it was more for children that had Down syndrome or were mentally retarded. Now there's more facilities that know how to deal adequately with those. What we're dealing with now is a lot of the higher functioning autism, like with Asperger's, dyslexia, and basically those that just where the one-size-fits-all education paradigm is not working. Those that need a smaller learning environment. We're even having children with anxiety, with bipolar, and even some that's just gotten several years behind for one reason or another. They can come to us in a smaller setting and achieve that success that they never could achieve before. And so we are allowing children to reach their full potential, whatever that is, without setting a glass ceiling and saying, okay, you'll never achieve past this point. What we're saying is, okay, let's go in and create an environment and let's see how far each child can go.
And so you operate on a principle basically that every child can succeed, every child can experience benefit in the academic environment if that child is provided with a culture of expectation, that child can do things, right, that other people may have perhaps expressed doubt about, perhaps given up on them, perhaps tried to direct them in a different direction. This is in many ways, I think, an ideal academic environment because the belief of the instructor, the administration begins with the children that we serve are children who we expect to achieve.
Right. And we're expecting them to achieve, but also we take the Dr. Jeffrey Canada paradigm that every child can learn, should learn. If they're not learning, it's our responsibility. You don't just go back and say, well, okay, I put it out there, they didn't get it, too bad, so sad. Mm-hmm. It's going to the point of, okay, if they're not getting it, it's our responsibility. Let's find a way to reach that child. Mm-hmm. And so that's a big difference between us and a lot of other schools. It's because truly we believe it's our responsibility not just to be a dispenser of knowledge, but to help each child to learn and to grow and to reach their full potential.
Yeah, and I'm a mental health professional by trade, and I operated for many years in that culture of individuals who had just a spectrum of challenges in their lives. And there's a way that you can approach those challenges, and one of those ways is you could say, well, they have these deficiencies and they have these different problems, and because they have those things as a part of their total being, then they're going to be limited in what they're going to be able to do. And the reality could be maybe there are some limitations, but the thing I always prefer to do was not focus on the limitation. It was to focus on the possibility.
Right.
Because I think too many times we look at people and we determine what they can do based on what we see, without really exposing that person to, every resource, every opportunity to succeed. And I truly believe that when people are given the complete opportunity to succeed, then even if they're taking baby steps, they can move forward as opposed to staying stagnant or moving backward. And I think that needs to be the primary thought in the academic institutions of today. And that's from preschool all the way up to, post-secondary education, where, you may have an instructor in the class who thinks that, everybody in my class is not going to make it. Well, I'm saying, if you start out with that premise, you've already failed the students that you're working with.
And that's why we emphasize that it's learning differences, not the fact that they cannot learn. Every child can learn something, and that's what we have to do, is to find a way where that child can learn. It's just like if a person's getting up to bat, it can be with the Yankees, the Reds, or even just a local Pop Warner team or whatever. When they're getting up to bat, if they believe that they're never going to hit that ball, guess what? They're never going to hit that ball.
Yeah, right.
And so if we can help them to believe that with effort, and that if you give your best, that we can help you, then the sky's the limit.
And it's the we too, isn't it? It's the whole notion that when you're in education, essentially, you're partnering with another person to take the skills that you have to share in a situation with the maybe raw potential that they have to be able to move them from one place to the next. It's a partnership.
And also it's a partnership with the parents and any of the other professionals in their life. And so it's collaborating with the community. I hate to say the cliche of it takes a village, but truly that's what it does, because there may be an uncle or an aunt or even a mom or dad or grandmother that can reach that child, that if we tell them, okay, you need to be doing your homework, they're just going to turn us off. But if we get that other relative involved, lots of time we can see success.
Yeah, that's, I think, very powerful, and it's, I think, further reinforcing of the notion that it really does take multiple resources in the lives of children to make their lives successful. And all of the conversation in our community around education needs to be inclusive.
Right.
So that we're focusing on the end result and that end product being a successful child. So how does somebody, just kind of walk us through a process of getting connected to you? I know you're out recruiting all the time, letting people know about your services. You're doing it in this context as well, letting people know that you're out there, providing educational resources for a special population of individuals. How does somebody get into your system?
Well, basically, our kids do not do well on testing. Not the fact that they don't have a high IQ, but a lot of our children have had bad experiences. Not that they're bad children, but they've had bad experiences. So when a lot of private schools will immediately give a test. Well, if they're already turned off, you're not going to get an accurate reading anyways. What our testing procedure is that if they will promise to give us effort, and of course we would love for the parents to pay the tuition, but the main thing is that the parents are going to be involved, as we talked about. The child is going to give us effort, and we're going to do our best. If we can do that, then we've got a shot. And so what we ask them to do is to give me a call, or they can go on our website, www.huntsvilleachievement.com, and read more about us and our contact information. We try to make it simple, because the fact is many of our parents have already been frustrated. They're coming to us because something didn't work somewhere else. None of our parents ever thought they would be in an independent or private school. None of our parents ever, when the child was in the womb, thought, okay, I'm going to have this child in a private school. It wasn't working somewhere else. And so they come to us and we try to figure out, okay, what can we do? Where are you at? And let's take the steps forward with your child. And with that, we can do a lot of things. But I try to emphasize to the child is that if we don't have the big E of effort, we can't do anything. I mean, I don't care how good we are, what we have, if you're not going to give us some effort, but if you will just give us effort, because our biggest disability that we deal with now is children with lack of self-confidence. And so if we can help them to have self-confidence and have that self-esteem that, yes, I can do stuff, then yes, they may have dyslexia, yes, they may be several years behind, but they can keep going, and we can be like a coach and coach them up to reach that full potential.
Yeah, that's terrific. What keeps you going on a daily basis? This can't be easy for you to do. This has to be quite challenging in many areas. You know, you certainly don't have all the money you need. You don't have all the resources you need. You just moved into a new facility after many years. And you now have a facility, as I've seen, that's going to provide you with a tremendous opportunity to grow the process and to really do some even more meaningful things beyond what you've done now. But what sustains you? What keeps you going every day?
Well, they say the average special education professional burns out in 5 years, so I understand. And what it is really almost a calling, if you would. We don't want to sound too religious, but it is a calling to impact lives, because we're not just there for a job, but every child has potential. And so you see that you're investing in our teachers are investing in those children, and because of that, because success is not just getting a child out at 3 o'clock. Success is years from now, seeing a child in Walmart or Publix, and now they're grown up. They've got a family, you're talking to them, they're contributing to society. And that is when you realize we've been successful. And those kinds of things, because truly, if we're going to change our community, if we're going to make tomorrow's better than today's, then what we have to do is to turn out better leaders and kids that, whether they're going to work at Cook's Pest Control, whether they're going to be the next president of the United States, they are going to believe that they have to be difference makers and make a difference within their community at whatever they're doing.
Yeah, that's, I think, an amazing thing. So if people want more information about the Huntsville Achievement School, how can they go about getting that information?
The easiest way is to go to our website, www.huntsvilleachievement.com. My information's on there, and usually we're just a cell phone call away, because truly we want to impact lives. We don't want to give you the runaround. We want to be something where truly the child has a great experience, they want to be engaged, and they want to come to school. And when they want that, we can all reach them.
Yeah, that's terrific. Dr. Richard Reynolds is Director and Principal of Huntsville Achievement School. Thank you for joining us today and sharing all this great inspiration and information with us.
Thank you, Kenny. Appreciate it.
We appreciate that. Thank you for being a part of our conversation today. We hope that you've learned a lot about this resource in the community that might be the one that you've been looking for. We encourage you to contact Dr. Reynolds at that phone number, the website that we're showing you on the screen, so that you can get more information about this. And perhaps it's the place that you need to check out. I would say, at the very least, you need to go check out the facility. It is a beautiful facility, well landscaped on the outside. I was very impressed, even walking up to the facility. And when I went in, just completely blown away by what I saw. And I hope that you'll take an opportunity to get out and check out the Huntsville Achievement School. Also, if you're a student out there and you want to volunteer, you want to help out, you're in the community somewhere and you want to volunteer your services, then please contact Dr. Reynolds. He would certainly appreciate hearing from you. We hope that you've enjoyed the show that you've watched today, and you can check out the video on our Facebook page, which is Impact with Kenny Anderson, and you can also see some shots of what happens once the camera stops rolling. For Impact, I'm Kenny Anderson. Have a great day.